Alrighty, so thank y'all for joining the Twincast. It's the podcast where business and faith are our foundation, and a good laugh is always on the house. We're identical twin sisters navigating the real estate world one deal at a time. I'm Cherie, your go-to lender, helping you with all things finance, and I'm Nicole, your favorite realtor, helping you find the perfect place to call home. The Twincast starts now. Alrighty, so let's jump into it. So we have a very special guest today, and it is someone we hold near and dear to our heart, not only because he helps us with insurance, but because he's our cousin. So Bryan is on our Twincast today. He has been in the insurance industry for over a decade. So lots of information that we want to cover with you, Keith. We're excited to have you because we interact. I wouldn't say every day. I try not to bug you every day, but it is pretty often that we're talking about insurance, and you're telling us what to do and how to do it. So we got a lot of questions for you. Are you ready?
Awesome. No, I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
Okay. I will tell you, prepare yourself because Nicole's going to ask you a few questions. I'm going to ask you a few questions. And, I think they're going to be pretty easy for you. But for us, insurance is kind of, I always tell people it's the land of the unknown. Well, for me, to some degree, because I'm not the expert in insurance. I rely on Keith to tell me everything I need to know and tell me what to do and how to do it. I just pass my customers to Keith and say, hey, this is the guy that you need to talk to. I do deal with the loans. Nicole does with, the homes, but Keith helps us with insurance. So, Keith, I'll let Nicole ask the first question for you. Okay, so every time, I'm sure you've heard this over and over again when people are shopping insurance. I've heard it from my clients, myself. If we have homeowners insurance, we're looking for that, but we also need auto insurance and all the things. Is there really a savings there when we bundle things together? Is that a true statement?
It absolutely is. So I'm a broker. So I deal with, I don't know, 30, 40 different insurance companies. There's always going to be that companion discount. And the biggest discounts we see is with the same company. So let's say Travelers, Home and Auto. It's really great. But it doesn't always make sense to do it that way. Sometimes it makes sense to mix and match. So we can get discounts, Home and Auto together. And really, all it does is it just makes the insurance cheaper all around. And there's a ton of other discounts too if you want to go over those.
Yeah, throw a few in there that someone might not think of. What do you think?
There's discounts for your type of loan. The VA loans, we have discounts there. Um,
Big deal.
yeah, new roof discounts. That's a huge one. Everybody wants a new roof. It's cheaper the newer the house is as well. Things like updates, plumbing updates, electrical updates. With certain insurance carriers, we can get some really good discounts there as well. Those are probably the most common ones I go over all the time.
And how often do rates change?
And it might be like easily monthly.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
So
Mm.
when I'm talking to a client, if everything sounds good and it's perfect, I'm going to move forward as soon as possible because things like hurricanes can happen in the Gulf. We can have freezes in Texas. Just different stuff like that can really change things a lot. Those are the big changes. But monthly, insurance companies will adjust their rates. They might go up 3%. They might go up 15% in certain zip codes. I don't really see them go down very often, though.
Hmm. I would expect not.
Yeah.
It seems as though because we've had a lot of natural disasters, and so I feel like insurance premiums have gone up. Have you seen a dramatic change from, I guess even within the last couple of years, I would expect that those have changed quite a bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, it kind of stays on the rise in a way, and how we kind of combat that on top of maximizing all of those discounts is really finding the right fit for the insurance carrier. For I've had it on the neighbors, people in the same street having very similar homes. One company will give them an excellent rate, and that same company will not offer their neighbor anything. So just because they have had enough in that zip code, they've kind of hit their fill for a moment. So yeah, just finding a different insurance carrier, and usually it's just cheaper to do it that way.
So that's good to know because as a broker, I, using you, I get to, hand you the customer and say, hey, this person has, buying X, Y, Z house and blah, blah, blah. But then you get to find the best coverage for that customer. And typically, I will say most of our customers are military, a lot of them. And so they initially start with those, national brands and, USAA, Navy Federal, those types of, um,
Mhm.
you know, uh, insurance providers. But I mean, 9 times out of 10, I send them your way, and then you're like, well, Cherie, we can do better. We can, lower those numbers and we can provide the same coverage or better. And is that because you're able to shop around, or how does that happen?
That's all it is. It's just finding the right fit, because it's not just the county you're in or zip code. It's the house itself. It's even the buyer. The borrowers, a lot goes into it, whether it's insurance score or, if they have past claims on certain houses, things like that. So yeah, just looking at all the different carriers every single time makes all the difference.
Well, and then I am excited when I send this information to you because you get it, very quickly. You're able to turn around that information and get the information that we need. So am I like most lenders and do I am
She
do
high maintenance. That's
that's
what she's
just a,
asking. Is she high
question
maintenance?
on the side note, but I just feel like because you turn around and you get me the information very quickly, is that standard that people are asking you to do it that quickly, or is this just me being a problem? I just,
No, not at all. Not at all. So my intention, anytime get somebody requests insurance, I want to take care of them same day. So I know that y'all's business works, things have to be timely. So you have a priority there. So if you send me something, I want to make sure I get those numbers back to you as soon as possible. There are times that I can't do it right away, but you're kind of at the top of the list.
wow. Okay. Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say it's very rare that it doesn't happen. Like, and that's why love using, Keith because we're able to get the information. And sometimes it comes down to, well, you wanted to use XYZ insurance company, but the numbers don't work. I mean, do you understand that you're paying, $100 more a month for that same coverage? And they really don't understand that. And I think probably, Keith, do you find that the customers really just they didn't know that they could get the same coverage for less or?
Yeah. And it's really just not they just don't know where to look is what it comes down to.
Mhm.
You know, I see a lot of the times it's like so State Farm's a great insurance company. They're not always the best option. But if you've been with them for 20, 30 years, your assumption is going to be that they're the best option.
Mhm.
So they might not just look anywhere else. Or maybe a family member recommended a certain company and they're like, yeah, I'm going to go with that. And it just happens to be the most expensive insurance company out there. They just don't know any better.
That's well, I can relate this to all being professionals in the industry because you doing loans, you know all the loan products, and so you can listen to a client's needs, and you're like, okay, well, this is the loan product they need. This fits best for them. Keith, you're listening to a consumer, and you're like, okay, this insurance fits them. This is what they need. They come to me and they're like, I want this and that. I'm like, okay, this is the subdivision you need to be in. There's 3 houses here. Which one do you want? So, I think it's just being a professional in the field, we're able to navigate all these options and really narrow it down to specifically for our client. So
Mhm.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I have another question for you. This one's not too serious, but a security system, does that offer a discount when you with coverage?
Yeah,
If
it absolutely does. Some insurance carriers will give better discounts than others.
Mm.
Depending on the scenario, we might be maxed out on discounts. And so it might not make a difference at all. So when it comes to security systems, I always tell people don't do it for the discount, do it because you want a security system. That way there's no disappointment for anyone. And I'm like, whatever discount it is, we'll get you the discount.
If there is one, you know.
There's and there's
Yeah.
usually a discount. Just sometimes you just don't notice it.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's important to get. We want all the discounts, but I think that the tax guy says that to, told my husband, like, don't buy the car because, you get the tax write-off. Buy the car because you need it and you get a tax. It just ha so happens. But,
Yeah.
because some people do silly things. I mean, just to get a, I mean, it's girl math sometimes when you go shopping and things like that. It's like, oh yeah, it's buy one, get one free. Like, no, it's not buy
Mhm.
one, get one. We see that. We see buy one, get one free. It's like buy one, get one, 10% off. I mean, like, no, you don't need to buy the other shirt for
For 10%.
10%. So you got to not do the girl math. Okay, go ahead. You have another one?
Mm-mm, go ahead.
No? Okay, so I want to know, let's say we did get the new roof because all those things are happening right now because of, the recent storms and things like that. So we had a natural disaster. We call you. How quick are you guys usually on, replacing the roof or getting an adjuster out there, things like that? What's the process?
So, typical turnaround for when you open a claim, an adjuster will be scheduled and they'll come out within 2 to 3 business days. And then once that adjuster is going to go out, they're going to kind of review the damage, um, make sure it's something that A is covered by the insurance carrier, and how much will it cost to actually do it. So during that time, there's probably a week turnaround. So once that approval comes through, then it's like, okay, get somebody out there to replace your roof and we'll start paying for it type thing. It doesn't really take very long once that ball starts getting rolling.
Okay, that's good because I have heard before, people saying they're waiting and, like from, of course, not our customers, Keith, but other people, have said, I'm still waiting for my insurance check and, I don't know. And, they get, I mean, it gets annoying having to follow up with people and having to check on the check and you need
Yeah.
people to sign the check and you need all these different things and you don't know who to call because you're calling the 1-800 number. But luckily, we, have the cell phone number and, we get to call Keith and say, "Hey, Keith, what's going on?" And he gets the information to us really quickly. So we love that. And that's another reason why we use an insurance agent that is not a robot, or an 800 number. So because things like this happen, and when they happen, you want to call somebody and not hear a press option one for a,
Mm,
we don't like that. That's no fun.
Right.
yeah.
We want to harass Keith.
Right.
We want to call him on a Saturday, and say, Keith, I know
Yeah.
you're about to go out and, take the kids and Adriana out, but can you talk to us real quick about insurance? No,
Is my
we don't do
gate
that.
gonna be, I mean, is my fence gonna be covered if a tornado comes? We want to know these
Yeah.
answers, Keisha.
Yeah.
What? And good for it. He's good for it. No, we don't do that often, but my mom might. Okay. Let me see. Let me ask another question. Or did you have one, Nicole?
Yes.
Okay.
How often should, as a consumer, they review their policy and maybe shop insurance providers? Should they be reaching, or should we? I do need to reach out to you, but should we be reaching out to you often, every yearly, 6 months? What's the rule of thumb?
So the rule of thumb is every renewal period. So on our homeowners, we're going to have a 12-month renewal period. So at month 11, you'll have received those documents already saying, hey, this is the policy for the next year. For auto, it's normally 6 months, depending on the insurance carrier. Sometimes it's 12 months as well. And yeah, whenever you get that renewal, that's the time to look at it because that renewal might be excellent, but there might just be something better out there. And that's the time to look at it.
And then that's when we contact you and say, okay,
Absolutely.
and you'll go through your different providers and find something, or you may say, okay, we'll leave it here and then we'll check back in. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
next question is, this one is in regards to general coverage. Detached garages, fences, sheds, are these something that's typically covered in your insurance policy, or are these things additionally that we need to say, hey, we built a shop and we need this covered, or how does that work?
Yeah, so that would fall into other structures if it's truly detached, because there's a lot of garages that will have, an awning or a walkway covering. Those are considered detached. They're going to be part of the main home coverage. But if it's truly detached, then it gets covered under other structures.
Mhm.
So all policies are going to automatically include 10% of whatever we're insuring your home for. If you have something awesome or fancy or expensive that you want to insure separately, like a fully insulated steel beam garage or something like that, that maybe takes more than the normal 10% to cover. We want to schedule that. just saying, hey, we have an extra building, we need more coverage on it,
Mm,
sort of
good
thing.
to know.
Yeah. Fences and stuff, those things are always going to be covered under the other structures, no problem.
Do you need to add anything to your coverage, Sheree? Let me think. God, I don't know. I'd have to ask Keith. Well, you got an insulated garage. Pretty nice garage out there that you might want to make sure it's covered. Just a tidbit. Don't add to my homework. Listen, Nicole, please, for the love of God. What's wrong with you? Okay, let me ask Keith. Okay, so if you had a piece of advice for, our listeners right now, what is the biggest piece of advice that you think you would want them to know about looking at insurance, talking about insurance? What's just, what do you want them to know?
I think having a good conversation with your insurance agent, whether it's me or somebody else, is the biggest piece of advice I could give. We live in a world that's very, let me send you an email and get an email back. Or, hey, just send it to me. I don't really feel like having a conversation. Everything looks the same on paper, to be honest. I can send you a piece of junk policy. It's going to look the same as a very good one, right? But having that discussion to find out what's covered and what's not covered, making sure you're properly covered is really the only way to do it. I would say 99% of my clients, we have, a 30-minute conversation just to make sure we didn't miss anything, making sure everything is good. I have some people that like to talk. We'll talk for like an hour, you know?
Mhm.
So I think having that conversation with your agent is the only way to do it.
I think that's fair. We had the same, we did a podcast yesterday and we said that's probably the biggest thing that we would advise our customers is just talk to your insurance, sorry, we were talking about real estate, talk to your real estate agent, talk to your lender, have the conversation because what was the topic? It was why we're just looking. Yeah, when people say we're just looking, I'm sure you have people call you and say, we're just shopping insurance. We just want to see what you want to, what you can do. What's your best policy? And they quickly want to, they want you to spit out a number, but
Mhm.
that's really not doing them service either because you're not being able to, talk to them and get what they're looking for. And if they just want a number, I mean, that's really hard to work with. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just looking. It just comes down to we know that you're looking for something. So we want to be able to provide that. So you have to be open-minded is what we were really saying. Be open-minded, be able to answer questions and vice versa. So yeah, have the conversation. So,
Mhm.
okay. Well, I think those, did you have any other ones? That's it. Okay. Well, I think those are my questions too. And so we always end our podcast when we talk to our guests. We want to know if the walls could talk at your home, obviously, because this is a real estate mortgage show. So we want to ask you if your walls at your home could talk, what would they say?
In our home, we strive to make a really relaxed, stress-free environment. And that doesn't always work. But if my walls could talk, they would say it feels good in here. We try to keep our family dynamic in such a way that the kids want to come home. My wife and I want to spend time at home. So it's our place.
That's sweet. That's what home should be. Exactly what home feels should be. Good. I like that answer. Adriana, be proud of that answer. So we'll let her know. We'll send her, well, you're going to let her listen to the podcast. So she'll love it
Yeah,
all the way till the end, and then love it more when she hears it, right? Yes. So Keith, we loved having you. Thank you for spending some time with us on our podcast, our twin cast. Thank you for giving our consumers, our friends, family, some information, some knowledge that they didn't know. We appreciate your time. We'll have all your
pleasure.
information in our show notes. So we'll put your contact information there so our customers could reach out to you. Of course, if we don't, if there's other people that would like to reach out to you, we'll have your information there so they can give them a contact. Okay.
Wonderful.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Yes, sir. All right, so that's a wrap. Thank y'all for joining the Twincast. If you love today's episode, like, subscribe, and share. If you have any questions about buying, selling, or financing, just DM us. Until next time, keep dreaming big, playing smart, and remember, with the right team, you hold the keys.